Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to PCM20. It's Career Mode, episode 160. We are ready to kick off La Vuelta. It's different this time around. This is our third time here. So, in 3 full seasons, our first season, we had a team that was not good enough. A team that was just kind of desperately holding on, trying to achieve a few targets. Our second full season, last season, we only had one GC guy in Pablo Rodriguez, and he was still young and still developing. And so we focused on the Giro, where he took 4th place, and then La Tour, which he won, which was awesome. It was close. It was tight. It was epic. But for the third tour, we focused on stages and on our sprinters primarily. And so we gave our sprinters an opportunity last time around, and that was what we had. This year, it's different. This year, we were going for the Triple Crown for Rodriguez, and of course you can only target 2 of the 3 tours, and so the Giro, the untargeted one, we struggled and we fought and it was close, but we only managed to get 3rd place. We crushed it on La Tour. Tour de France was ours, hands down. We led it from the first stage to the final stage in epic fashion. As we approach the end of this opening team time trial. It's short, it's only 16K, and I've got a few riders that are just on for the ride here because of how easy this race is compared to other things. Rodriguez needs to come up the order. Talipov, thank you, tuck in behind. Okay. Hey, first so far by a single second, so nice. They pulled that off despite having 3 really weak guys and 1 or 2 behind the trees. Great place to put up the podium. Still good enough for the top time. So good start, as we're going to have the jersey early on, though it will not be on Rodriguez's back. He was not the first one to cross line. Anyway, we crushed it on Tour de France. And now for the first time, we are targeting La Vuelta as a team going for it, as a team going for the overall. And Rodriguez, it's his 3rd Grand Tour already. Will he have enough left in the tank to compete for this one? As we go to enter stage 3 of La Vuelta, looking at it, looks like a really easy race this year. We'll take a quick look. So stage 3, yeah, 2 big climbs. We're going to hit the same climb twice, but then it's just a short little punchy finish. Stage 4 is another one that's punchy, my type, but it doesn't finish on the downhill. It finishes on the flat. That's supposed to be punchy. That's going to be a bunch sprint. That's my type of finish. We could absolutely get a victory on stage 8, I would think. Stage 11 is not a major climb by any means, but it's going to come down to the GC guys, I think, at the end of that stage. But that's the first time that we're going to see much separation at all in this field. By the way, after a sprint stage on stage 2, as we enter stage 3, we've already lost the tour lead at this point, as Penhote has it after picking up bonus seconds on that second stage. I don't see any serious separation in times, GC-wise, until stage 15. And then 16 again, and then 17 with the time trial. That's what's going to decide this race. And then one last chance on 20 to split the field. But it's really just going to come down to a few stages on this one. And then there's going to be a lot of stages that are just silly, busy ones that I'm going to have to waste some time on. And so, you know what? We're not going to waste some time. We've got some good news, bad news as we go forward. And let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to quick sim our way forward. We're going to get to those later stages right away on this one and let the quick sim do its thing and see where we're at. Well, Pablo Rodriguez, good news, bad news. He just hit an 80. So he's leveled up again. It's just resistance that he really picked up. Mountains, same place. Time trialing's at the same place. I think he might have added 1 hill point, possibly. But realistically, it was just the resistance and or recovery that he's picked up. I think he got 2 points on one on the other. And that was enough to push him from a high 79 to a low 80. So yay for him, but also this is his last hurrah right now on La Vuelta, where there's barely any climbing to do anyway. So it's going to be it's actually going to be a harder race to win than you would think, based on the fact that there's not numerous occasions for him to go out and shine. It's going to come down to just a few stages. Zeta extending with Sunweb. Rodriguez moving on to C-Clerc. C-Clerc is AG2R, just that new sponsor that they've had the last season or two now. And adding insult to injury, we are on the verge of relegation. So we've lost our top two riders, and we have Vermark and Rajkovic left of that top five. And then we have our new additions that, we add another 77, we add a 76 out there, or a 78, whatever it is. Either way, we're a high 77, but we're close, and there's still quite a few riders out there left. So there is a chance that we could be relegated. I kind of thought at lowest we'd be about 15th, but here we are, already 15th with quite a few riders. It's only 16th of August. Let's go ahead and push through, and we'll see where we're at and let the quick sim do its thing. We could be down. First update, after 6 stages, Rodriguez actually leads. He has not won a stage, but he's had 2 second-place finishes on a couple of these punchy ones. Pogacar is second. Alaphilippe, who won both of those stages, is now up to 3rd place. Millar, killing also in the top 10, so we're in a good place overall. However, Rodriguez was just announced over the last 2 stages that he has some sort of illness, and then they just declared that it's a decrease in energy and that he is wondering if he should abandon. So we'll see. It might automatically do it, but this decrease in energy is going to hurt our chances. Also, we are really on the verge, as we are down to 19th. Of course, we have 3 young riders, all very capable, that in that next month and a half, any one of those 3 could level up and pull us back from the verge. But right now, things aren't looking so good for next season. Looking even worse than it was. Stage 8, we get a 1-2 from Wykankis and Rodriguez. Rodriguez expanding his lead, now 17 seconds ahead. Millar is up in 3rd place at 21 seconds, and Killen still in 8th. So far so good. Also, just 2 days later from that last update, Rodriguez has recovered just today, so he is back to normal. So he made it through that tough stretch. After our victory on stage number 1, we push forward 10 stages, now onto stage 11. Even with all the quick sims, Rodriguez still manages to lead this race. Talipov, you can see, is quite close to done here as we approach. This has been a long, slow, gentle uphill slog. 200k, so I mean we've already put in 165k or so for the day. Talipov's going to be done soon, and then Smith isn't going to last a whole lot longer. Everybody else is still pretty fresh. Rodriguez just hanging on to that really, really good state where everybody else is feeling it a little bit. So the good news is, before we ever even get to this final climb, a lot of riders are going to be quite tired, and most of them have not been protected throughout. So if you have a bunch of leaders that are looking like Wykankis or Moreau or Millar, where they're a little bit fatigued before we hit that climb, that's an advantage for Rodriguez, who is just about at 100%. So that is an absolute good sign. 138 riders left in the Peloton, so it's already shrinking. We just brought in the last of the breakaway riders. There was only 5, and they never gained much of an advantage. I mean, it was under 3 minutes the entire way. Ducanic really, really pushing the tempo today. And that's because you're looking at a profile, on paper anyway, that says this is a punchy stage. So it's Alaphilippe. It's Alaphilippe they're working for. It's Alaphilippe who is still in the top 3 overall, or at least I believe he is. Now just 121, now just 106 riders left as we get closer and closer to the climb. Now Smith actually, unfortunately, is about to be dropped. 19.5k to go. Rodriguez is starting to feel it just a little bit here. Killen is the one protecting him. He's pretty tired. Johnson just does not have the greatest resistance or stamina, for that matter. It's a very long stage today, so you can definitely see do not like when he does that. He's going to go ahead and protect Moreau. Yeah, this is different than what I expected. We're down to 57 riders. We haven't even hit the climb yet. I was expecting 57 near the top. Now 46. It's just down, down, down we go as we go. It's still 14.8K to go, so it's a little long to be just suddenly calling it and going sprint train and pushing. The tempo's been way too hot for something like that. Moreau's probably not the guy I want to be protecting. It's going to be more like Millar, who sits third overall, probably. And suddenly things have sat up with 10.9. We've got to be aggressive here, right? This is our chance. This is our opportunity. You know, we're going to save Millar and also just give us a little bit of protection. And we can't push crazy hard here because it's still 11K to go, but we'll take over at the front.
There are just 10 kilometers left.
Mike Ankis, national team jersey. Rodriguez in the leader jersey, the red jersey. Millar in the under 25s. He's borrowing it from his teammate Rodriguez, who is the actual leader, of course. Now 8K to go, so Johnson's already done well for us. He's gotten us past one of the early steeper sections. Actually, no, that's a lot of the flat. It's just going to finish really strong. On to Moreau here in just a moment. Killen's already been dropped. And by the way, we're down to just 18 in the Peloton. And now we're seeing the push. Pogacar and McNulty. Dang, that's a good combo right there. 5K to go. Millar is not going to make it here. And Wykankis is not going to make it much longer. I mean, this is... We're trying to save Rodriguez a little bit here, but we've got to stay close. Down to 15. There you go. They sit back up. Back to the front. That was an attempted attack. Now it's McNulty going for an attempted attack. 3K to go. And Rodriguez is just going to have to go solo. 2.2K. Still in position here.
This climb features some dreadful percentages.
McNulty, Hamilton, Rubio, Pogacar. 1.6K. Ooh, I thought we were turning right. We're turning left. Rubio blocks us off a little bit. 1K to go. Can we attack through here and gain a little separation towards the line, finishing it off? That's McNulty ahead. He's going to win the stage. We're going to take second. And we're definitely gaining time over the rest. He gets a little bit of time on us, which isn't great, but he wasn't in a perfect position. So this ended up being good, considering everybody else fell away and that he had to go solo. We're just slightly conservative on that. So second on the stage, Pogacar, Hamilton. Then huge gap. Look at that, minute 40. Just like that, we see massive separation. And that was just a punchy stage. Those guys, by the way, much better hill ratings than Rodriguez, who's in the low 70s in that area. Dang, Moreau way back there. And Millar lost a ton of time. Not sure what happened because he never even did any work. He didn't have poor race day condition, but Millar just fell away. I think somebody played a trick on him and tied a brick under his seat. So following that first decisive stage of this tour, McNulty actually was close enough that he does move into the race lead with that time bonus. So he leads overall, but Rodriguez is only 4 seconds down, and that puts the pressure on UAE now to do the work. Unfortunately, UAE also has a 1-3 like we had moments ago. Pogacar, teammate, sits third at just over a minute behind, and then 2 minutes to Sivakov, Hamilton, nearly 3 to Soler, Palace is over 3. Barrow's at 3.5. Millar also at 3.5 in ninth place, so he's still in a pretty good position. And then Rubio rounding out the top 10. After that, I don't see any names that are threatening at all. So we're looking really just kind of at the top 10. Comparing time trials, is that's one of the key stages late on. Rubio's not going to do well there. Barrow is a bit of a threat, but he's 3.5 minutes down. Sivikov is definitely a big threat there. And then that's it. So Sivikov's the main one we got to watch out for at 2 minutes down. We've got to watch out for McNulty and Pogačar on these climbing stages of being a real threat, but they're going to lose time on the time trial. And then Barrow's 3.5 minutes down, so that's putting him on the back foot. However, he is the top rider for Team Ineos, and you can never really rule out Team Ineos in anything as concerted effort. They could really make waves when the time comes. So maybe four riders I think we need to keep an eye on for the remainder of this race. It's only stage 11. We still have a handful of stages to go, though, before we get to the big action sequences late in this tour. So let's go ahead and push through those few more stages, those quick sim type stages, and see what the results are. A little punchy finish on stage 14. McNulty wins the stage, so he's going to gain a little more time, but Rodriguez and Pogačar were right there with him, just 7 seconds back, and little gaps behind, so that's going to further stretch out the order at the top. Rodriguez now 15 seconds behind, but again, not worrying at this point. It's 14 stages of the tour already behind us, all in one episode, but this is definitely not the Tour de France or the Giro d'Italia, which was pretty challenging this year as well. So we finally reached the decisive point in the tour. So stage 15, 16, 2 big climbing stages, and then the 46-kilometer time trial, which obviously you would favor us and only a couple other GC riders in that time trial. So 2 competitors there, and then 2 close competitors in the climbing part. And then 1 more decisive stage all the way at stage 20. So that's just 4 stages to decide this race. And that's all we have left, and that's what we're going to begin with next time. So we're now on to stage 15. You can see it's just straight climb. Just one big climb at the end, similar to what we had on that last stage, but a little bit longer. Similar steepness, but maybe a little more steep than what that one was. But we should see something similar in nature to what happened on that one. In terms of motivation, everybody's looking good. Rodriguez only on the +1. Not sure how, because we reconned. Maybe it starts with stage 16 that we reconned, but we went on reconnoitering trips that I thought included 15, 16, and 17, and then also a stage 20 recon, but not showing up here. Maybe I'll have to go back and check which stages it was I reconned, because I thought 15 was one of them. Maybe it starts with 16. Don't know for sure. You can see we've got 3 guys on the fitness peaks. Rodriguez, because of the tour and how long that fitness peak lasted, he is late to get onto that fitness peak here. It looks like he's going to miss out. So that's unfortunate. His advantage, the timing here is a little bit off. And so he hit that fitness peak late in the Tour de France. And there just really isn't that big of a gap between then and now with La Vuelta. I thought late in this tour he'd be hitting it, but he's still only on 77.5 points. He's got 22.5 to go. And what are we picking up? 3 points per day? I mean, that's not happening. That's not happening in the next 6 days. So Rodriguez is going to miss out entirely on the fitness peak. So all we're going to get is that reconnoitering bonuses plus the objective bonus. So a +1 or +2 expected each day. So that +4 we had on the last stage, or a couple stages ago anyway, stage 11 that was. We're not going to see much of that this tour. So that could have been the one and only time that he ends up with that type of race day condition. It's going to be a little tougher to pull this one off we certainly have a chance. Like I said, we really only have about 4 competitors that we need to watch out closely for. I think we should be able to handle the rest fairly well. But a 1-2 punch for UAE of McNulty and Pogacar is going to be tough to overcome. The only advantage there is that neither one of them is a very good time trialist, especially on here. Right? This was pre-Tour de France Pogacar victory when this database was built, and so Pogacar does not have the time trial rating he would now have for a 2021 version. That's going to do it for this episode, though. Decathlon Gamer, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.